Hey, how's it going? Today is Sunday. We're taking a look at what support is available up there. Usually I'm doing just finance, but within this particular instance, it's not necessarily limited to finance. This organization might be able to guide you towards grants available as well as loans. Is not something that myself are recommending for people to reach out to or ask for right now, just because the interest rate is perhaps it's money is overpriced right now, or borrowing money for all overall process can be 5%. If it was 1-2% of the interest rate that myself I might be interested in, but other than that, perhaps grants would be more optimal for many businesses up there. So then we talk about money, but this organization might be able to offer you credits when it comes to credits, perhaps £20,000 worth of money to receive support for your business, for example, right? Credits. I don't know, that's American. I don't know. Either way. Perhaps within UK they would define all the process slightly different, right? So you can access different facilities. Business consulting is something that you're interested in, depending again what kind of problem you might have, right? Facilities, equipment, perhaps, uh, labor, people who might be interested in working on your project, depending on what kind of problem you have. So I have covered the number of areas already. This is fifth area, and within this video, we're going to be taking a look at energy systems. And if it's something that you're looking to venture in or understand a little bit better, there's support available up there. But first, let's try to understand what is energy systems in the beginning. Energy systems refer to a complex network and processes involved in production, tra transmission, distribution, and or consumption of energy. There are various types of energy systems, including those that utilize different energy sources and technologies. Just to name a few, there's a shift, right? We're moving away from fossil fuels. That could be like diesel, petrol, or petroleum byproducts, right? We're moving perhaps closer to electricity and storing of electricity that could be used as a batteries or different cells, right? When it comes to cell technologies, right, how we're storing energy, it could be different again. It could be a lithium batteries, more best perhaps current way of storing energy, but that again would not necessarily limited to that. There's different cells. Hydrogen, there's a new markets up there as well, and as I have seen a lot of companies venturing and or trying different ways of how they can power different systems, right? But we not necessarily have currently infrastructure for that either way, so there's some options there. Let's take a look at some of the key aspects of energy systems. We have 10 minutes. I'm trying to stick to videos, not longer perhaps. Sometimes it's way longer. Some of the topics I like a little bit more than others, but I'm trying to stick with 10 minutes or slightly over 10 points, right? So I can't cover everything in detail. I'd rather go briefly without going too much into detail, right? If I can, while try to keep light-hearted, funny videos, right? If anything. First one would be energy sources, right? That would be perhaps renewable energy derived from sources that are naturally replenished, such as sunlight, solar energy, wind, rain, tides, waves, geothermal, heat, and biomass. Again, that pretty much covers everything, but not necessarily limited to, right? Since I can cover those even in more detail, but either way, so that would be renewable energy compared to fossil fuels. So since this is what they compare against, but not necessarily limited to those, as well as non-renewable energy comes from finite resources like fossil fuels, coal, oil, natural gas, and nuclear energy, as well as there are other sources as well there. Well, either way, so that would be energy sources. Then, so since we define where most likely we're gonna get in currently, more traditional ways, we will define those. But as you might venture into completely new areas. Why not, right? So once we define we're gonna take a look at full chain, right? So where since we defined somewhat from where we can get energy from, so next would be energy conversion. The next one would be electricity generation, the process of converting various forms of energy that would be mechanical, thermal, chemical into electrical energy. This includes power plants using fossil fuels, nuclear reactors, or renewable sources, right? So then from there, as wind, it goes through a mechanical process and we capturing that energy, right? As we're looking at supply chain, the next step would be transition and distribution. It can be grid systems, networks of transmissions and distribution lines that transport electricity from power plants to end user. High voltage transmission lines cover long distances while lowering voltage lines distribute electricity to homes and or businesses. So that would be, as we're looking at the supply chain, that would be distribution. Next one, how we're gonna store that energy. We're looking at the supply chain, right? Storage systems. It could be like a battery cells for some other people, perhaps they're commonly known as energy storage technologies that store energy for later use, helping to balance the supply and demand fluctuation. Examples include batteries, pumped hydro storage, and thermal energy storage. There's some interesting projects out there how they storing energy or using energy that they can make battery out of the lake. This project was completed in North Wales, right, where they made up a battery out of the lake. So there's some wild people out there. Next one would be smart grids. Smart technologies integration of digital communications and control technologies into the traditional electric grids. This allows for better monitoring, control, and or communication between various components in the grid. That would be smart grids as we look at the supply chain. Overall, since we already covered a number of topics, we should touch on energy efficiency, if anything. Efficient use, implementation of technologies and practices that reduce the amount of energy required to perform tasks. This includes energy efficiency appliance, lighting, and or industrial processes, as well as uh, conductors. Currently, we're using copper wires, but there's some potential there when we take a look at energy efficiency and how those can be replaced as well. One number 7, decentralized energy systems, distributed generation. Energy generation at or near the point of user often use renewable sources like solar panels or small-scale wind turbines. This can enhance grid resilience and reduce transmission losses. Again, since we're talking about copper wires, right? So there might be currently some percentage can be lost there unless we can improve that technology as well. There's some people working on that technology and how we can improve there as well. Feel free to do your own research. I have done it. It's very interesting how we're looking to improve that. Currently, it's not cost-effective the way to do it, but it's impossible to do. Number 8, that would be policy and regulations. In particular, a lot of governments are shifting, right? So governments are shifting their policy away from fossil fuels, just coal and the overall carbon footprint. So policy and regulations are important and should not be overlooked, right? Government involvement, policies and regulations at local, national, and or international levels that influence the energy sector. This includes incentives for renewable energy emission standards and energy conservation programs. So there's a lot of potential as well as where you're gonna get getting the and you'll take a look at the supply chain energy sources. Where you're gonna get those. We talk about something like nuclear power, how you're gonna get the raw resources there, or coal, and just name the few, right? How you're gonna get some of those raw resources, natural gases, liquid gases, where you're gonna get those. So is some of the ways how we can address kind of issues within governments or regions. Number 9, environmental impacts. That air shouldn't be overlooked. I don't know how people did things in the past, but now we need to be more conscious about some of the actions and what kind of reactions we might receive about releasing some of that carbon. The plants might like it, but plants might enjoy a little bit more carbon, right? But ourselves, we might suffer from that either way. Sustainability, consideration of the environmental impact of energy systems include greenhouse gas emissions, air and water pollution, and land use. Perhaps there's better ways of doing things, right? 10. Future trends, research and innovation. Something yourself as an entrepreneur or perhaps business leader you might be interested in. Take a look at this area since it can be very promising. Just to summarize things, thorium, right, as an energy source, it's readily available up there. So, what would be required to develop necessary systems where you can produce energy from thorium, right, as an element, which kind of interesting thing to do, but it can be very expensive at time. The cost when it comes to all the resources that would be required to develop necessary supply chain to work with thorium, right, to produce energy. Either way, ongoing efforts of developing new technologies and improve existing ones, which focus on sustainability and addressing climate change. If that's something that you are interested in, there's a government support available. They have set up institutions or teams where people are taking a look at energy systems. Catapult Accelerator, the transformation of the UK's energy systems, identifying priorities and market barriers for decarbonization. Their vision is to unleash innovation and open new markets to capture the clean growth opportunities, ensuring UK business and consumers capture the opportunities in clean growth uh, since they're looking to address, right? So some of the climate change, I don't know who should address that. How human impact on the environment, right? To learn more about livestock enterprise, I have published a book. Within this book, I'm sharing a lot of information about where to begin, what you would need to know, where to start when starting your own livestock enterprise, what would be required of you, what you would need to learn, to know, and if anything, how to achieve first milestone. So that would be you taking action and starting your own business, right? So that will be from zero to a first 10,000 euros, dollars, pounds. This milestone, that's finance, just one of the ways how you can measure your progress. Within the book, I'm sharing a lot of examples. If it's something that you're interested in learning more, if anything, that potentially would save you a lot of money, right? Learning from others who have been there, done it, and there's stories to share, right? You can find it in the description below as well as QR code in the corner. Understanding and optimizing energy systems are crucial for ensuring reliable, sustainable, and affordable energy supply for society while minimizing environmental impact. Advance in technology coupled with effective policies play a key role in shaping future of energy systems. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next one.